Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us for today's webinar, Manufacturing on the Ground and in the Cloud. Today's event is hosted and presented by Configuro and Salesforce.com. Salesforce.com is a leading enterprise cloud computing company with a powerful suite of platform and applications delivering low cost, low risk, and fast results to industry-leading companies. Configuro is a certified Salesforce.com solution and implementation partner and a provider of custom applications for the manufacturing industry and others. During today's session, you'll first hear from Stephen Walker, who is the former president of CRC Manufacturing, now Hydrotech Industries, which will be followed by Jonathan Fritz, a platform account executive at Salesforce. And finally, you'll be able to see a preview of a manufacturing application that was built by Configuro by Jody Hamlet, our managing director. So to kick things off, I'd like to introduce Stephen Walker of Hydrotech Industries. Stephen is actually the current CEO of GSB Sealing Solutions, but is a 20-year industry veteran with expertise that spans executive management, operations, sales, and strategic process improvement at industry-leading manufacturing organizations. Most recently, Stephen was the vice president of sales at Hydrotech, which is one of the world's leading manufacturers and providers of high-quality and individually designed hydraulic cylinders for industries including oil, gas, mining, and manufacturing. To give you some background on Hydrotech, Hydrotech is based or headquartered in Denmark with production facilities across the globe, as you can see here. And Hydrotech does design and sell standard and custom industrial products, which includes some service and repair functions, engineering, research and development, and more. Stephen, I will now pass it off to you. And if you'll just start off by giving the audience a bit of an overview of what your experience at Hydrotech was like before Salesforce and what specific business challenges you faced there.
Really didn't have a way to manage our leads at all. Everything was more or less put in files. Sometimes time would go by, we didn't have a way to manage when we had contacted a lead and when 2 years may go by and we may contact them again. Or we may contact a lead and not do a good job following up and managing that process. So, next slide. So we're still on, so we're on slide 9. So why Salesforce? I spent I'd say about 6 months looking at other types of platforms. These two platforms, Microsoft and Tour-de-Force, I'm sure are good types of CRMs. But as I went through the Salesforce demos and the other demos, it appeared to me that Salesforce was going to be the best tool for our organization. One of the big deals with that was having a cloud-based type of platform. You know, you hear the word cloud all the time. I heard the word cloud on commercials. I really wasn't familiar with cloud computing, but I've gotten a lot more educated as I've gone through this process. And what it boiled down to me was being able to operate on a cloud type of environment eliminated the servers that I had to have on site, the potential servers going down with power outages. Our particular location, we're in a hurricane-prone environment, so we had to deal with the power situations when we may be out of power for weeks at a time. The scalability of being able to use Salesforce, a big deal of that too is that we have three different organizations, one in the U.S., one in China, one in Denmark, all operating on different ERP platforms. but we were all having to manage a pipeline and customer information. Able to go to a platform like Salesforce and have multiple languages was a big deal, considering we had 3 separate ERP systems for each one of these locations, and I did not want to do an integration. At least my goal was to not do an integration of the ERP with the CRM solution. And my personal opinion on that is really more from the standpoint of the accounting and all of the production types of functions, more or less muddling up all of the key data, which is the customer information, the quoting information, the budget information, the visit reports, and those types of things. So we chose not to do that. Let's see here. As far as with Configuro, we've been very happy with the partnership that we've created with them. That was a very good move on our part to invest in having a configuration partner, a network partner. So next slide. So as far as deployment, the deployment of Salesforce actually was a whole lot smoother than what I've ever could have imagined. We had to do some front-end data cleanup as far as the customers that we had, the phone numbers, addresses, contacts, which you know, the data side of that can be, the data management of that side can be very cumbersome within at least the ERP system that we have. What I found with Salesforce is that I can just go to one place, see all of my customer information in a nice clean page. If anything doesn't look right, it stands out like a sore thumb. So being able to look at that and correct that after the data migration is even done was also very easy. We went back and added sales figures. We went back 3 years to just get an idea of what our year-to-date numbers were with each one of those clients. We put all this information into a spreadsheet format that Configuro helped us with. And then really everything was just uploaded. I had to go in and spend maybe, I'd say, about 2 to 3 days worth of time cleaning up the data migration. But other than that, it was about as easy as it could have gotten. I've done other multiple software deployments over the years, and that was a very difficult process. So I can say that this one was very easy. As far as how we're syncing data from the back office to our front office, which back office being our inside sales folks, and then our front office being our outside sales folks. Now we're able to sync all of these opportunities to quotes. Our quoting system that we do, we've got a lot of tracking that we do related to the type of business that it is, the type of customer, at least what type of market segment. So we're able to report on those types of customer and account identification functions much easier than we could before. And this also falls into our pipeline reporting too. So if you're a company out there that operates in multiple market segments with multiple types of let's just say products within your own business, it's a very, very efficient tool to be able to look at where your revenue stream and profit streams are coming from, and which market segments that they're also being reported from. So next slide. Here, I think I've kind of covered a lot of this data migration here from slide 10. Oh no, I'm sorry, slide 10. Let me move mine down here. Something I didn't cover was the amount of time that it took to actually, from start to finish. Sorry, I'm going back one slide. Was just 8 weeks, and that's a legitimate number. That is a very quick time to do this. So I was very pleased. As far as connecting the dots, we have, I guess, a two-tier type of product offering. One of the types of products that we offer is what I call more of a catalog type of offer. The other type of offer is more of a customized approach. About 85% of our business comes from this customized approach, 15% coming from more of a pricing, catalog-based type of price book. We were able to implement and put both of those into the Salesforce platform. I would say half of the time that we spent was really dedicated to the customized quoting platform. And I think that's one of the reasons that the Salesforce and Configuro folks asked me to get on this call today, because the customized quoting and the help that we got with coming up with this platform to do customized quoting is really a big deal for us, and we're able to manage that all within the Salesforce platform, whereas everything before was being handled and managed within our old ERP system. As far as the opportunities that are tied to quotes, everything is being managed within our system, as I mentioned before, by different industry segments. We also have follow-up time frames that we report within our company from the standpoint of when do we think a deal will close, and then when do we think after it's closed we have to back up the production time and estimate when the product will actually ship. So if those dates are also all reported, so we'll have a win month report and then also a ship month report that's all tied into our pipeline management. As far as chatter goes, chatter for inside and outside, it's really kind of developed, I think, more of a teamwork type of environment, and helped us kind of come together as a company. We've got some remote salespeople within our organization, and it's kind of neat to see how they have taken hold of that and shared different customer wins or different problems or things that have come up through the sales process. So that's been kind of neat to see that. It's kind of like I call it, it's kind of like a Salesforce.com platform for the business, and it's all pretty much it's all a private type of platform. So next slide, Kenya. So one of my other visions of Salesforce was really to try to create a tablet type of Salesforce. I wanted to have the iPad application or iPad with Salesforce on it to be able to do all of our customer visit reports, which are required whenever our sales reps see a client. We went in and actually did some a little bit of customization to where we could put in a lot of personal information for each one of our contacts and clients. I want them to be able to see what opportunities they have right before they go in, or actually if a customer asks, they could see it right in front of them in real time. I also wanted them to be able to manage their calendars on Salesforce, to look at all of previous emails which are on Salesforce, because there's also a feature that you can add and send emails that are logged to a specific opportunity. So all that will be on their iPad application. They also can look at their budgets on Salesforce as well with the iPad, and we also implemented, I'm not sure if it's on this particular slide, Kenya, the Expensify feature, which has been awesome to be able to download expenses, have all of that be electronic, and it's very, very seamless and very efficient. One thing too I may have missed as well is the approval process. I don't know if that's on another slide, but we're also able to be able to set up approvals based on either dollar volume or gross profit levels, where electronic emails are sent, and we can approve those quotes and approve those at different levels within the organization, which has been very efficient also. Anytime that that we talk to clients too, we're logging those calls too, and that gives us a company-wide visibility within the organization too, to be able to know what's going on. Because if you have a back office support, depending on what kind of organization you have, and your back office is quoting to your clients, it's nice to know what conversations have been had, and to more or less keep everybody in the loop and have that visibility. So I think that should cover that slide. Next slide, please. So the critical business intelligence, you can see here the different types of little snapshots of dashboards. One of the things that really impressed me as well is how easy it was to be able to go in, set up these dashboards. I'm not necessarily the sharpest IT guy, but I can tell you that it took a minimal amount of time to be able to learn this, and you can slice and dice this any way you want. It's a very powerful tool, and you can even set up functions within the system where you get an automatic email of everything in your pipeline, or everything that's closed or won or lost, or any type of intelligence you want to be able to track any specific initiatives that you have going on related to the order pipeline, quote pipeline, shipment pipeline. Anything that you want to see and set up can be done, and it's pretty much an automated function after it's set up, and you can go back and tweak it, play with it, and do anything you want. If you don't like the way that it looks, it's very easy to go back and change it. And you can set it up for different levels. You can have a sales level, a management level, a CEO level. So it's a powerful tool too. And if you're in a sales management role, then it really saves a lot of time, because if you're, let's just say your CEO wants a different type of report, you can set it up and more or less auto-populate it and auto-send it to him, and then it's more or less a phone call for review. So it's, and the same thing goes for your outside sales folks as well. So next slide. So this is more of a business impact slide, what it's done from a time standpoint, which if you're focusing on face time and sales time, the more time you spend doing reporting, the less time you're spending actually selling. And I think it's pretty evident, it's been very evident to our sales staff, the amount of time that it has reduced from managing all of those static spreadsheet reports, and actually, the data wasn't as great as you'd like it to be anyway, to now just been doing some minor maintenance time, whereas it might have taken a day, where it was taking us a whole day to be able to more or less get ready to send a pipeline report, which was due monthly. It's taken them 15 minutes, and the same thing goes for being able to track all of the leads and opportunities. The amount of time that it took for us to be able to try to keep up with that, and I guess the accuracy that we were able to do that has all pretty much gone away, and is all managed within this one single platform, which has been a beautiful thing. As far as being able to generate these quotes and distribute these quotes, everything now is managed within the Salesforce platform, as I've mentioned before, whereas before everything was managed on our ERP. So, our ERP system now is doing nothing but purchasing, production, and all of the finance and accounting features. So, as far as one other thing that we did that I think is, I guess, somewhat customized for the Salesforce platform is we have something called a job cost summary, and more or less is top-line type of view of revenue, cost of goods sold, direct labor burden, those types of things. And we're able to manage this page is actually on every single quote that's viewed only by our own company employees, and this falls into our approval process to where if something is not does not meet a certain required margin, or if something is above a certain dollar range, then it's managed to this job cost summary. So we're able to track our gross profits, we're able to track our commissions much more effectively within this one platform. Next slide. So expanding value and impact. Our goal here is to more or less be the guinea pig in the U.S., North America, and then roll out this whole Salesforce and Configuro platform to our other entities. We will want to more or less work out all the bugs, which I'd say about 90–95% of them have been worked out. I think it's still a continuous improvement thing, regardless of how you like it, because there's so many more things that you can utilize within the platform. We also are going to implement a configuration tool where it will be managed online, where we'll actually be able to have our distributors, which we have a distributor network as well, be able to log in and use a configurator tool to be able to generate their own quotes. And then we have a discount structure set up that we manage that gives them discounts and enables us to give them pricing. We also have it's called a cases function within the Salesforce platform, where we are managing our claims or any type of warranties. That was always a very big struggle for us too, because again, it was in this static environment, this static world. And now that we can manage all this within Salesforce, it's much more easier for us to be able to manage, and then also be able to report that and track our either decrease in warranties or increase in warranties, and be able to try to pinpoint and try to improve those, and also know if it's impacting one client more so than another. So I guess next slide. So best practices, lessons learned. Explanatory as far as not underestimating the quality of our data and the process. And I can tell you that we had a lot of data before, but it was in so many different places, and I think the integrity of that data, it was just a mess. And again, I go back to that word spreadsheet hell. I was living in it, and it was not a fun place to be. So I would challenge you to not be afraid to check this out and get involved. And when I first got started into this whole process, you know, I was a little bit afraid, you know, of actually doing something different. I was concerned with maybe the pushback that I was going to get. But I finally just realized that the amount of hours in the day that it was taking to manage the quality of the data that we were getting out, it just didn't make sense. So I would say step out there and really try to leverage what's already there. Don't try to reinvent the wheel and go with some customized software program, because the platform that's there that they've created is very powerful, and it will, I'm sure, accomplish the majority of your goals. Also, too, I'd say, you know, we decided to do a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 type of ramp up with the process. And my suggestion or my take on that would be to really focus on those core functions. Really focus on accounts, contacts, your leads, the really critical data integrity. Don't try to swallow everything at one time. And I think the process, if you choose to go that route, I think it's much more manageable, and you can also the team that you have, your support team, I think will grab a hold of it, and you'll have less challenges along the way. And then also too, your CEO or your executive team, they've got to buy into this thing, and you've got to sell it, and you've got to sell what the advantages are. So my suggestion there is, before you try to sell it, learn as much as you can about it, go through as many demos as you can, and it should be a pretty smooth transition to get those folks to buy into it. So, 16. So I think that's it for me.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, well, that was wonderful, and thank you so much, Stephen, for your time and for sharing your experience with Salesforce and with the process and exactly what you and your team were able to see as a result. Obviously makes it very real, I think, for others in the manufacturing industry who are really looking to optimize their businesses and the way that they operate. So now we're coming up on the top of the hour, but what I'd like to do is turn it over to Jonathan Fritz, who is a platform account executive at Salesforce.
I just wanted to give everybody on the line just a few quick takeaways on using the Salesforce platform. And our platform is the technology that underlies all of the applications that enable some of the great business benefits that Stephen just mentioned. And first off, when you have these critical business processes around sales, around operations, maybe it's quoting or customer service, by putting all of those in the cloud, you can really streamline those processes and bring all that data into one place. And I think, as Stephen mentioned, by getting it there, you can turn reporting from what might take you hours or days into just minutes and give your executives that insight they need to really optimally run their business. And using the Salesforce tools, you can optimize your workflows. And these workflows now can go from things that are very inefficient, might be slowing your business down, to something that's very agile and can change very often and really give you that business differentiation. And the best thing about our platform is it can be used by your IT professionals, and it also can be used by business users. So you don't have to be in IT. Your business users can build these processes, they can build these reports, and really use our platform to further your business. Okay, next slide, please. And the front end, that front office of Salesforce that Stephen mentioned, can interact with any of the back ends that you might use, whether it's an SAP system, it might be Great Plains for financials, it could be a homegrown system you use for manufacturing or operations. Any back end can interface with Salesforce, so you can get your front office people agile using the system and interface back to the back end for things like financials, maybe it's shipping or operations. And it really depends on your business. A lot of businesses move all of their processes into Salesforce because that's where they're going to get the most benefit, and they don't really have back-end systems that they use that can't be easily replaced. While as there are some other companies that have significant investments in back-end systems, and they just want to put that agile layer on top of it to enable their customer-facing people to optimally operate, to optimally sell, to optimally service their customers. So whatever you're using, and we have customers across the board, from the very large customers like Cisco and Kimberly-Clark to mid-size and smaller manufacturers doing it a variety of different ways, and we'll work with you on any of those. Next slide, please. And so one takeaway that I want everybody on the phone to go think about is look at your application landscape. Everything from sales, service, all the way back to manufacturing operations, even human resources. Here's an example with Kimberly-Clark, which is a large manufacturing customer of ours, but what they've done is they've rationalized all their applications, and they've taken a lot of those applications and figured, how can I move those to the cloud? Because those are business processes that need to touch the customer, or they're just business processes that are suboptimal today and that they know they can make more efficient with Salesforce. And this is just an example of a chart that says, let me get every one of my applications and put a bubble on a chart and which departments they touch. And from those, I'll decide which ones might remain on-premise, which ones might go to the cloud. and which ones have to interface with each other. And it's just a great way to rationalize your application landscape, to take a look at where Salesforce can come in and add value and make you a more agile business. So that's all I had for you today, Kimya. Thanks. I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Jonathan. And with the time we've got left, what we'd love to do is show you an actual example of the custom application that Stephen referenced earlier. And I'll be passing this off to Jody Hamlet, who is the Managing Director of Configuro. Jody has actually is one of the very first 500 folks to get certified on Salesforce.com, so a lot of very deep and broad experience there, and also has implemented literally hundreds of successful deployments. So I will turn it over to Jody for the demo.
Thank you. Okay, everyone. So I'm going to walk you through very basically an overview of Salesforce, but also a use case example that Stephen talked about from a lead to quote process. So we are in Salesforce.com right now, and the first thing you'll notice is I'm in the Psychotech Industries application. I also have access to several other applications, if you notice here on this side, on my far right. What we're looking at now is a home page where I have access to my key metrics. These key metrics can be role-based, team-based, or individually based. I also have access to key action items for my tasks and also a calendar. Both of these items at the bottom here sync with Outlook as well, so you could have your Salesforce action items and calendaring in Salesforce that will sync down to your not only Outlook but also Lotus Notes. I also have the ability to open up this sidebar here to see any recent items that I've recently accessed. So again, quick and easy access to the information that I need directly, and as well as there's some quick access links that will allow me to access any web applications that or web reports that may be on my back-end system. Okay, so as I go across the top, you also notice that I have access to several areas in Salesforce.com that will definitely enable me to access as much information as possible and needed for sales effectiveness. So we're going to have our leads, accounts, opportunities, orders, shipments, product registrations, warranty claims, and of course our dashboards. And one key area here when we talk about collaboration is Chatter. And Chatter allows you to collaborate with not only internal folks and groups, but also external. So you do have the ability to create private groups, which you could also allow your customers to have access. So there's a group here in our demo org where we've set up a private conversation in collaboration with our customer. We also have other internal groups as well, demo best practices to competitive strategies, where we'll have the ability to share information specific to those constituents that would join that group. So now what I'm going to do is take you through a lead to quote example. So we'll start off with the leads area, and this lead could have been sent to me via email. So once I find that lead, I'll go in the system, and as you look at the lead, it will provide you with all of the information needed. You'll have access to not only find related items to this lead, but also information and descriptions related to that. So if I look down at the bottom, I have a clear picture of all of my activities, activity history, and also which campaign that lead came in on. What we're going to do here as an example is we're going to go ahead and convert this over to an opportunity, and this is a part of the account here, and we're going to also set up a quick follow-up task in the meantime. and we'll set that out. And this task will show up on my home page and also in my email task. And now it takes me to our account page where we have the lead we've converted. So if you notice, the lead I converted shows up as a contact in the contacts related list. I also have the ability and access to opportunities that we're going to look at here in a moment. I also have any open activities where we'll have a proposal that we may need to create. Any activities associated with this account, be it my task or someone else's, as well as email history. So looking at the account, you could see a 360-degree view of all of the information that's associated with that account. So as you take a look at this, you also have the ability to upload notes and attachments, additional addresses, any orders associated with that particular account, and any product registrations. You also have the ability, again, with chatter collaboration, to really take a great look at what's been happening with this account, who are those folks following this account for updates and additional information. I also have the ability to look at different files and different conversations around and related to this account. Okay, so we'll jump into now the opportunity. So from an opportunity, we have all the ability to create a pipeline, which we see here in the right for our stages. We also have an expected close date of that particular opportunity, as well as information related to that opportunity. So if you scroll down, similar how we have it in the account, we have related information. So you'll see products in the standard price book associated with this opportunity, as well as a quote, any open activities related, any activity history, those key contacts that are involved, as well as their particular roles, as well as competitors that we may be competing with against this opportunity. Now, as we look at this particular opportunity, you'll also notice I have the ability and access to our price book, which we could also associate additional parts for those, the bikes that we sell. So we can select those. What we'll do now is jump directly into the quote area. And one of the things here is, again, I've converted a lead all the way over to an opportunity, and now I want to go ahead and generate a PDF from this quote. So this information is in the system from a price book perspective. I'm generating the line items that are associated with this particular quote. I've just associated that, and we'll take a quick look at that. And so what it does is it generates a really formatted, customized quote that will allow you to email directly to your prospective clients. So this quote automatically populates, and with Salesforce.com's platform, you're able to customize this and format this in the way that meets your business needs. I also had the ability right within here to email this quote to a key contact. If you take a look here, it also defaulted some specific, information if I wanted to communicate that out, and then I can go ahead and send that quote over to the contact. If there's additional attachments that I may want to include as well, I also have the ability to include those attachments. One here is our terms and conditions document, as well as any other additional information that may be attached to this particular opportunity. So lastly, you looked at the detailed information. Let's take a look at, as we have all that information in the tool, what we're able to do. So at a very high level, you see a production lifecycle management, where I could look at how's my production controls looking, for this week, my levels by part, my inventory levels, as well as what's my inventory capacity. All of this is available and capable through an integration, of course. Let's take a look at another dashboard that I have access to for our sales performance. And as we take a look at our sales performance, you'll see we have our new business pipeline, closed sales to date, key opportunities in pipeline. We have our sales leaders, We also have current fiscal year versus last year. So we're able to take a look at that rich data in an aggregate format and also make some key business decisions based on that. So I want to turn it over to
that you heard today, and you're interested just in finding out how you can get started on the path to move to the cloud. There are a couple of different options. Obviously, we'd love for you to see a Salesforce demo. So you can either contact Configuro here at the bottom or Jonathan Fritz directly, and we're happy to get that set up. Salesforce also offers a 30-day free trial for you to get in and actually put in some of your data and start to play around with the system. So that is also available. And then through Configuro, we also have what's called a business process review, or a BPR, whereby we would actually look at the data that you've got at some of your current tools and systems that are set up. And similar to what we did for Stephen over at Hydrotech, we will look at that and kind of identify the most critical business processes that we believe you can start to automate and to really optimize using either a custom application or the full Salesforce.com platform to achieve some of those goals. And we'd love to talk to you about how we can leverage our manufacturing-specific experience to do so. So obviously here you've got all of our information. Again, we will be sending out an email which has this information as well. And we just thank you all for your patience today with some of the audio issues, and for, of course, your time in joining us and finding out more about Salesforce and what they have to offer. So with that, I will close out the webinar. And if you do have additional questions, we welcome those. Please send them to info@configuro.com or directly to Jonathan Fritz at jfritz@salesforce.com, and we will promptly answer those questions as soon as we get those. Thank you so much again, and please enjoy the rest of your weeks.
Kenya.